We started recording. Hope you all are able to see my screen. It's complete, or if not, let me change something. Let's just 1 minute. Layout. Okay, so yeah, when we call a virtual machine skill set, till now we have seen creating a virtual machine or creating a group of virtual machine in availability set. So now let's say there are some chances, right, where like a same virtual machine can scale up and scale down. In those cases, how we can manage in Microsoft Azure, right? So we have one service called scale set or virtual machine scale set. Okay, so this is the name, virtual machine scale set. It is nothing but it's kind of identical virtual machine, right? What do you mean by identical virtual machine? So it will have same application hosted, it will have same operating system disk, it will have same uh, data disk. So today we'll learn how to create virtual machine skill set and how to do it scale up and scale down, right? So virtual machine skill set are like useful for scenario where you need like okay, you need high demand for 8 hours. After that, your demand goes down, right? Like say bank operations, right? So bank operation will be high during 10 to 4 or 10 to 8 when banks are open, right? That time maybe we need 1,000 virtual machine, but once bank closes, we need 100 virtual machine for online transactions, right? So like that. Or even you can say Hotstar nowadays. Wherever IPL started, users are going more and then users are going down, right? After like match ends. So during those scenario, we can use virtual machine skill set where like scalability, we can scale up to 1,000 VM and then go down to 100 when not required, or even go down to one also if not required, right? So those kind of scenario will be covered in virtual machine skill set. So you can say with all virtual machine configured same, so virtual machines are designed to support true auto scale, right? No provisioning of VM is required. It is not like we will be provisioning a virtual machine from our side. It will be just we will be adding. Okay, it's kind of your uh, horizontal scale we will be learning here, right? So you can see targeting big compute, big data, and centralized workload. Those are the some of the use cases, right? So wherever demand goes up, virtual machine can be added. That is requirement is more. Okay, the process can be manual and automated, or both in combination, right? So like we have talked about a match scenario. We have talked about what you call bank scenario, right? In those cases, what we can do, we can have manual scaling, right? Because we know the timings, right? We know matches start at 6:30 in the evening and it ends around 11:30, right? So we can have a manual scale, correct? And if there is like somewhere where we don't know when workload will be more, or it is like no pattern, in those cases we can use automated scaling, right? Based on some parameters, right? We'll see that happening. So you can see there are some key points. All virtual machines are created from the same base image and configuration. So this approach lets you manage hundreds of VM without additional configuration, task, and network management, right? So it's not like you have to manage a network for 100 virtual machine. It will be one only, but yes, with one base image, we can configure our virtual machine skill set. Okay, so you can see skill set support use of a load balancer at layer 4 distribution, an application gateway for more advanced layer 7. Okay, so traffic distributed and SSL termination, everything is supported. That is like okay, we'll discuss uh, load balancer in the, we have not covered load balancer. So means we have already we already know that the skill set run multiple instances for your application. Like same application will be hosted on multiple application, and if one goes down, we have other virtual machine instances, right? For minimal interruption. Okay, same thing whatever we have discussed. So the skill set support up to 1000 VM instances. If you create and upload one custom VM image, the limit is 600. Okay, so like yeah, it's not like what application we are trying to install. Microsoft is having, right? We have to create our own image, right, for the virtual machine. So if you are creating your own image, that is, when I say you are creating your own image, that is like kind of, okay, you are customizing the operating system. Okay, let's say you are going to purchase a laptop, then you ask him, right? Okay, sir, please install these many softwares to. Earlier days we used to do that when internet was not that good, right? They used to have a disk, and they used to copy from that disk some software to our laptop, right? Let's say VLC media player, some downloader or something like that. So in case of cloud, they're having some images, right? We have seen while creating virtual machines. So if you wanted to customize it, we wanted to install some uh, software on that, or let's say application on that, we have to customize the image, right? So there will be a task for each, like every one of you. Please explore Packer. Okay, Packer is a software, or you can say tool. Okay, Packer, or what is the name? Mm, yes, it's Packer. Okay, and Packer is also from your Hasicop, that is same belonging to Terraform family. Okay, so yeah, I will not go through Packer. I will just ping you the link, and this is important. Okay, please go through this. Or if I get some time at the end, maybe we can discuss this Packer. But as of now, I'm not discussing. So basically, Packer is a like tool. Using which you can build your custom image. Okay, this is one of tool. There are many tools available in market. Okay, so yep. If you are using Azure image, then 1000. If you are using your own, then it is 600. Okay, we don't want to go to that. Initial instance count, implement auto scale. We don't want to go that. Configure auto scaling. We will do it. Okay, let's go to portal and do the testing. Okay, okay. Virtual machine skill set, you can search directly, or again you can go to the create a resource. So I want to create a virtual machine skill set. Okay, selected subscription, selected resource group. I don't have resource group. Okay, let's create one because see, let's say okay. VMSS. Let's see virtual machine skill set where you wanted to create. Always select East US if you are creating for testing purpose. Charges is around 10% less. Okay. Okay. Now they have one more option, like you can go for uniform or you can go for flexible. So orchestration mode. It's like kind of how you wanted to manage your virtual machine skit, like a skill set. So you can see in flexible orchestration, you manually create and add virtual machine of your configuration to a skill set. In inform orchestration, you define virtual machine model and Azure will generate identical instances, right? So we have discussed, right, custom image and other things. So here is the option you have to give. Earlier it was not there. It's been added. I think I have not created virtual machine in the last 1 year, I guess. Yep. So uniform is like we'll get from Microsoft, and flexible is like we will give our. Okay. Security type instance is like a standard. Then here the image. Okay. You can configure. You can see all images. Okay. Let's select all images. What all images we have? We have Windows 10, CentOS, Red Hat. It's like normal operating system, right? With Visual Studio 22 if you wanted to install, with Windows 365 Enterprise Cloud PC if you wanted to make it. So there are so many. You can see out of 77, just we are seeing only one page. Or we have some category also. If you wanted to create a web server, you can select that. WordPress and other things. Developer tools, security database kind of thing. So SQL Server 2019, even you can make a SQL Server on top of virtual machine skill set where high compute is required, right? DevOps related virtual machine you can see. So these are some custom image which they have already made. You can create your own custom image also. Okay. So let's select Windows Server. Okay. Out of Windows Server, let's select 2016 or 19. Okay. There are some other options. Configure VM generation. Okay, so generation 1 and generation 2, there are some difference. Maybe there will be question uh, on interview. What is VM generation?
Uh, in generation one, we don't have the update from the updated content from the Microsoft. But in version 2, we got some extra feature from the Microsoft, which we
Mhm.
don't have in generation 1.
Mhm. That is not precise answer. Yeah, what you're trying to say is correct. So yeah, please go through and get the precise answer. So that's correct.
Okay. I
Yeah.
understand that. I don't say.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. You have to say in the complete point. Is okay. So yeah, select the size of virtual machine for one instance. Okay. So you have different instances. You can see all the sizes available. Okay. Right now we are doing for the practice. So I will be selecting the base one. Okay. It will be different. You have to give a username. Mm, That's your user. You have to give password. Okay. I don't have. So OS disk, premium SSD. Right. We know difference between premium and standard SSD. Correct. We have gone through in details. Encryption is by default. If you wanted to do your own encryption like at rest and double encryption, you can do it. Anything else? You can create and attach a new disk, or you can add already existing disk also. That will be your kind of data disk which you wanted. I'm okay with network. Okay, they will create a new. This is the NIC which they will be creating. Next is scaling. Okay, so scaling tab was not there in our virtual machine. The rest all was same, right? Here, until unless we are using a custom image, it is same as your virtual machine. Even virtual machine creation also you can use your custom image, right? So now you can see it is asking for the instance count, like how many virtual machine in this skill set we wanted to create. Let's say one only I wanted to create. Right? Then there is some option, right? Scaling. Do you want to do a manual scale or do you want to do a custom scale, right? So let's go for manual. What is custom scale? it's kind of auto scaling, right? So you can see in custom it is asking, okay, what will be your minimum number of virtual machine and what will be your maximum number of virtual machine, right? That is instances we call here, right? We have given one as minimum, 10 as maximum, or we can give even till 1000 if you are using Azure, right? So you can see if you are going over 100, it's a you are enabling a scale set to scale to multiple placement groups, right? Like yeah, there will be multiple placement groups obviously. Because 1000 virtual machine they cannot deploy in single server. So we are okay with 10 or even we are okay with 5 also. So auto scaling has some you have to give some mechanism, right? While doing auto scaling. So based on what we wanted to auto scale, right? So you can see I wanted to auto scale based on CPU threshold, right? So this is the percentage of CPU uses. 75 is okay if your application is critical, but if your application is normal, it's not critical, you can give it up to 90 also, or even it is CPU, right? Make it 80 or something like that. Okay. So even it's not like okay, my CPU went 80% for a second and my virtual machine will scale up. It's not okay. There has to be some duration. So you have to set up a duration like okay, if CPU threshold is more than 80% for continuously 10 minutes, then it will add number of instances one. Okay, it will add one more instance in your virtual machine scale set, right? Initially we have created one, so let's say CPU usage is more than 80%. Let's add it. If we can test load, let's do it 2 minutes. Okay, okay, 5 minutes is the minimum. So you can say how many instances you wanted to add if you want to do auto scale. Okay, then you have scale in also, right? So this is scale out configuration, this box, right? Then you have scale in configuration. You have to also scale down it, right? Scale in which you call. So let's say CPU threshold is 25% and number of increase instances by like decrease number one. Okay. So let's say one got added, it will reduce one again, correct? So even you can make this number two, three, however you wanted to make it. You will get the configuration from your architect, how you wanted to create it. Okay. Okay. There is something new scaling policy. So you can see default is like balance across availability zones. We all know availability zone, right? It will be deployed in multiple availability zone whenever new instances is added and fault domains. Then delete VM with highest instance ID. Okay, the newer added will got deleted first. Okay, then newest VM. Okay, this is the newest VM deleted. This is the oldest VM deleted, and this highest instance ID will be deleted. So instance ID also will get. We'll see manual scale at least, if not auto scale. Go to management, you can enable all these things, both system identity, health, we are fine. Advanced, we don't want to do anything now. Tag, just go to review and create. Okay. Hope you all are listening to me. Anyone has any question by time it is getting created?
Nothing, sir, as of now.
Mhm. So it's again a normal deployment, but there are few things like image building, adding data disk, those questions we will be discussing. Okay. So that will be asked. So we have seen manual scale and auto scale, how to set up that. Okay, we will see again once virtual machine is created. We can change after that also. Okay, it got created, so it will have a different kind of overview page. Okay, you can see size, operating system, public IP, and all those things are not there. One out of 168, so right now one instance is there, right? So where I can see the virtual machine details, I can go to instances, and here I can see, okay, right now you can see there is VMSS 0. Okay? So this is your ID, or you can say the name. Okay, ID will be one more in case I guess. Okay, we'll check that also. Then you have scaling, right? We have already configured a scale like custom scale. Okay, at the same time you can also configure manual scale. Okay, so both can work together. It's not like you can only configure custom scale. Okay, so yeah, we have one scale based on metric, right? Even custom scale can be also type of like scale to a specific instance. Okay, whenever it's like kind of your manual scale. So if you are using custom scale, use based on metric. Okay, diagnostic scaling policy we have already did that. Uh, let's go to manual scale and let's add some, not that much at least. Okay. Let's make it as 3. Okay, and we'll save. You can go to overview, you can go to disks. So you can see there is no disk attached. Again, it is the same way you can attach a new disk here to virtual machine skill set. We have seen adding a disk to virtual machine. It's like create and attach a new disk. Okay, you can do that. So discard. You can go to operating system and you can see the details of that. Okay, modify custom data. You can add some custom data to it. Okay, pass a, like you can pass a script or even configuration file, other data into virtual machine while it is being provisioned, right? User data, you can add those things. So let's go to instances. We have added. So you can see now the virtual machine is running, right? So it's pretty easy. If you wanted to scale up, scale down based on our requirement, right? We can do it. Correct? Let's. I wanted 10 virtual machine. Let's say there is some requirement. I can do that, right? I'm going to instance. You can see it's creating now, right? So it's that easy. You can scale up your application and scale down your application very easily. Okay. For virtual machine skill set. Then there are two type of scaling, that is manual scale and custom scale. In custom scale also you have two type of scaling. One is based on metric and another is what is the other? Scale to
Custom.
specific. Yes.
Vikas,
Hmm. Scale to.
all the instances will be created based on the first instance which we configure first.
Yeah, that's what you have to configure a image, right? It like, yeah, if it is like already there in Azure, you can use them. They have tried creating more than 2000 images, right? You can see there is around 1800 images they have created. If image suits what your requirement is, you can use that, or you have to create an image using Packer. Okay, and then use that image to
Uh,
create a virtual machine.
can you talk me? talk literally about the Packers. I don't understand the talk on the topic of the Packer template. I see that when you're showing the page.
Mhm. Okay, let's finish this first. If we get some time, we'll discuss that also.
Okay,
Okay, so some of them are running, some of them are still creating, right? So this is like auto scale. Okay, let's scale it down. It's not required to waste money. Right? Let's scale it down to zero and see. Okay, so this is your virtual machine skill set. Very easy. Uh, yes, but configuration of operating system and data disk. Please go through them. Please, if you are not able to create a virtual machine, I have not found any sandbox for virtual machine skill set. Okay, if any one of you are getting skill set sandbox, please share with everyone. Okay, if not, just try to just see how it works. Okay, and try to do the same thing with a simple virtual machine. Okay, if you have some subscription, you will able to create virtual machine skill set. Okay, so that was our virtual machine skill set instances. Let's refresh. You can see now it's deleting, right? So it's deleting based on 987. Okay. It will get deleted, and again naming is starting from zero, right? Even fault domain and update domain we have seen the naming is starting from zero, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. Anything is new we have here? Upgrade policy, configuration, continuous delivery, size. It's same as your virtual machine. Okay. Only scaling was different. Okay. Everything is same as a virtual machine. No difference. Let it get scale down, it will get automatically. Okay. Any other question in skill set? Virtual machine skill set? Okay. We'll discuss its load balancing part in load balancer. Okay. So you can say minimum number of virtual machine. Now we are good, right? We know what is the minimum number of virtual machine for auto scale set, maximum number of virtual machine for scale set. We have said that, right? Scale out threshold. So yes, same thing they are discussing here. Okay, right. Go through this question. What we can do? We have just gone through this, right? Again, it's easy questions, right? Auto scale, schedule based rule, right? Then virtual machine skill set deploy and manage which of the following set of identical virtual machine created from same OS base and configuration, right? Let's continue. That's all we have to learn for virtual machine skill set. Automation state configuration, we'll go through this. Okay, taking time for deleting, so that's fine. Okay, what all topic left? Let me go through this. Let's see. Okay, So availability set we have completed. Uh, virtual machine skill set also we have completed. We have ARM, DSC, web app and portal, monitoring, then DevOps repository, Linux machine. We start getting added day by day. Okay, let's go to the load balancer. Again, that is important based on like interview. Okay, how many type of load balancer are there and what load balancer does. Okay, I think we have uh, some document on that. Right? So with the name only, we are seeing right. It's a balancing of load, right? Not this one. I wanted to see. So we can see how to improve scalability and resiliency by using Azure Load Balancer, right? So, okay, let's go to our tab, start a whiteboard. We have seen earlier also this thing, but again, let's do once again. Okay, so we have seen how to create multiple virtual machine, right? In availability set or even availability zone, right? So let's say this is VM1, this is VM2. Same application is running on both of them, right? How customer will be served, like how I can make it, right? So let's say there is some endpoint which customer is accessing. So endpoint, let's make this. This is my endpoint currently. So let's give the name google.com, right? Google.com. So we all are accessing google.com, right? We don't know which virtual machine my request is going, but yes, we all are accessing google.com. So many users are going to google.com. Do you think there will be a single virtual machine serving this google.com?
No,
Hmm?
there is multiple version machine
Hmm.
which Google Google would use that.
Correct. There are thousands of virtual machines, right? So, yep. How they are balancing the load? Obviously, they will be using some load balancer, correct? That's what we will be discussing here, right? How to use a load balancer, correct? So let's go and discuss that how to use a load balancer, right? So sorry, let's take this load balancer. Yes. So there will be like connection from VM1 to this load balancer, and then this is your content. Let me go back to this. I wanted to add one more thing. That's why I clicked it. I forgot. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is my load balancer. Let's give some names. It will be good, right? This is my load balancer. This is my VM, VM1, and then this is my VM2, right? So we call this as sorry, these two we call it backend. Okay, so load balancer backend, what we have added two different virtual machine, right? They will definitely having different IP address, right? Then we call this as front end. Okay, there are lots to discuss in load balancer, but yeah, basic is like, okay, you have something in back end and you have something in front end, right? And again, I have asked you people to go through OSI layer at the beginning, right? So load balancer can be at three places, okay? At layer 4, at layer 7, sorry, two places, at layer 4 and at layer 7, okay? And even a load balancer are having different type, okay? So what type of load balancer you wanted to do? So let's say this is my google.com, right? This google.com is basically is a outsider, like outsider people can use this google.com, right? There must be something called database where they are having all the data, right? Which they are trying to access. Do we have access to the database directly? No, right? So if they wanted to expose something in public, they are using a public load balancer, okay? And if they are just using something for their backend, this virtual machine also need data, right, from somewhere. So this virtual machine will be also getting data from somewhere else, right? So we can manage one more here with one more load balancer, correct? And this load balancer will be your internal load balancer, okay? Okay. And this is your external, okay? So there are different feature of internal and external load balancer. We'll go through it and we'll see, okay, how it is looking like. The basic concept of load balancer is like balancing load, and it will be having multiple backend, and it can serve even single front end, or it multiple front end even can be added, okay, nowadays. And then based on some rules, we can redirect it to different virtual machine or to one virtual machine, okay. So load balancer configuration is pretty much complicated, okay. uh, Not that complicated if you understand it, but yes, you have to understand the logic how we are configuring it, okay. Or if not, at least if you're understanding what is front end, back end, and how to create other things, we'll able to do this, okay. So now we have set up the basic ground, what is a load balancer. At least we have seen two type of load balancer here, right? Even internal also we are having a different type of load balancer. External also having different type of load balancer. We'll go through it, okay. Let's go to the documentation part and we will discuss it. We'll discuss Ubuntu. Don't sorry, Packer. Don't worry. Give at least half an hour for Packer, okay, if not more than. I hope everything got deleted. Yeah. So you can see there are no virtual machines as of now, as I have changed the instance count to 0. So there are no virtual machines which is running. Okay. I can delete this. It's not required. We'll close the documentation part. Again, same thing. They are also talking why virtual machine skill set is required. Let's sorry, load balancer is required. Let's go to load balancer. So basically, you can distribute on traffic with Azure Load Balancer, right? What is distribution here? Like we are distributing between virtual machine 1 and virtual machine 2. That is distribution here, correct? Okay. So there are some feature which you can use, right? How you wanted to distribute your load among the virtual machine. Okay. So based on this, you can decide. Okay. So how load balancer will decide? You have to tell, right, which virtual machine your load should, your access request should go. Let's say someone has reached out to google.com, right? So now this load balancer recognize, okay, there is one user. Which virtual machine he will send this request? Okay. So this will be based on this five tuple rule. Okay. Source IP. Okay. You can set a request based on source IP. You can base a request source based on source port, like you can redirect traffic, or even destination IP. You can do that. Destination port, you can do that. And you can protocol type, what protocol user is trying to access. Based on that also, you can redirect user. Okay. So this is basically the load balancer. You can see it is using five tuple hash rule. Okay. So based on which source IP from where request is coming, it can redirect to different virtual machine. Okay. Again, we will be doing this all in our practical. Okay. So you can see you can use availability set, correct, and availability zone to ensure virtual machine are always available. Okay. So this, when I say you can use availability set and availability zone, that is in the back end, right? In the back end, we have seen right now I have added single virtual machine, but you can add a availability set also. Okay. And you can add availability zone also. If you are using availability set, SLA is 99.95, and if it is availability zone, then 99.99%. Okay. We already discussed availability set and availability zone. Okay. Select the right load balancer product. One is basic load balancer and one is standard load balancer. Okay. So in basic load balancer, you will get this port forwarding, automatic reconfiguration, health probe. Like, what is health probe here? Can we discuss a little bit about health probe? So you can see there are two virtual machines which is actively connected to load balancer, right? How this load balancer will know if this virtual machine is working or not? Okay? We can configure something called health probe, okay? And it will be like kind of your, sorry, so health probe is like it has to be configured in your load balancer. What load balancer will do? Based on your health probe, it will send a request to virtual machine 1 and virtual machine 2, and it will decide if virtual machine is ready to accept the load or not, right? Let's say virtual machine goes down, this health probe will say to load balancer, okay, I'm not getting any response from virtual machine 1, please make it as down, correct? So that's what health probe is. We have different option for the health probe, how we can create, and based on what port and all those things. We'll see that. But right now, just understand health probe is a feature for the load balancer where it will check the backend virtual machine is up and running fine or not. Okay. So based on that, it will send traffic to that. So let's say if virtual machine 1 is down, what it will do? It will just cut off all the existing which is running on VM2, and any new request which is coming will be sent like to just redirect it to VM2. So health probe is an important factor when we are defining a load balancer or when we are creating a load balancer. Okay, so health pros, then output connection through secure network and all those things is not. Then we have a standard load balancer. You can say in a standard load balancer you have HTTPS based health probe. In basic you don't have that. Then you have availability zones available. In basic you cannot add availability zone in the backend. Okay, high availability ports, outbound rule, and this internal and external load balancer. We have seen internal and external load balancer. No need to discuss in that. Okay, what is the default distribution type of traffic through a load balancer? Pipe tuple. What is the main advantage of availability set? Skill server failures. That should be the correct answer. What is this much? Okay, then you can see external also called public load balancer, right? This also works with same. You can say source affinity. What is source IP affinity? Can anyone answer that? Source IP affinity. Yeah. So in general term also, if you are getting some good response from one shop, we wanted to buy stuff from that shop only, right? We don't wanted to go or change our shop. Even hair cutting salon also, if you're satisfied with the person where you are going for hair cutting, we'll try to go to same person again and again, right? So source affinity is same as that only 100%, right? So source IP affinity is like, okay, if user is like ABC and he is getting access from virtual machine 1 or virtual machine 2, okay, source affinity makes sure that that person whenever trying to access he goes to the same server. Okay, that's what, to map traffic to the available server. Source IP affinity mode uses two hashes, okay, IP address and destination IP address. Okay, that ensure that requests from a specific client are always sent to same virtual machine behind the load balancer, right? Example was correct. So same way it happens in case of your this source IP affinity. Okay, choose a distribution mode. They are giving too much of documentation. Hmm. We'll go through this while creating. I'm trying to just. Okay, so we have a sandbox. Okay, we can activate it and we can create it. Okay, so I think it's already 9:03. Mm. And load balancer will take at least 1 day complete. Okay, so and it has so many things to do. Okay, we'll do it tomorrow. This load balancer things, practical. Okay, theory. I guess those were the important topics which we have discussed. That is your health probe, type of load balancer, front end, back end, and yeah, while doing the practical, we'll see more details. What all things can be added in back end, right? How front end can be managed, how source IP, like session affinity can be set, and how other things works. Okay, so we'll do in practical, then we'll understand. much. Okay. Any question till here for the load balancer? Okay, I don't see. So one important question interviewer will ask you, any load balancer configuration they can ask. Okay, so there is like difference between load balancer application gateway and traffic manager. Okay. So Azure,
Load balancer. Hello.
yes, sir.
Yes, I'm saying that load balancer traffic manage gateway is basically used to inside our the one particular region, but the traffic manager is used across the two different regions.
That's correct. You can say that. Okay, so in this picture, you can see that this is a traffic manager, this is your load balancer, right? Then where is this application gateway comes in picture? Okay, now they have one more thing called front door. They have added it recently. First thing, whenever they are asking you is okay, give me difference between load balancer, application gateway, traffic manager, and front door. Start with networking, right? You can see we have talked about layers, right? So basic load balancer is at layer 4, right? Then you have application gateway, traffic manager, and front door working as layer 7. That is your application layer, right? Where user interacts. So you can see this picture, right? So this is like some request, DNS, google.com, then traffic manager is at the top, right? So that is your layer 7, correct? Then type of load balancer, we have different, okay? Then routing method in load balancer, we have seen hash based, right? Or source IP affinity, 5 tuple rule. We have seen that, right? Application gateway, we have path based. So here you can say if someone is going to Google dot, we have seen google.in, google.com or microsoft.com, microsoft.in, right? How we are getting, if you are going to microsoft.in, let's say we are going to Hindi website, how we are going to like getting that? It's due to application gateway, right? So based on path, we are getting redirected to different server. That's why we are, there is some change, right? So let's say msn.com we are going, right? They have also added location based from where user is coming. It's already taking us to in, right? En dot India, right? If you change it to US, you'll get something this, right? So based on URL, you can redirect your traffic. We are getting two different things, right? We are getting Elon Musk and these all. If you are going to US and we are going to this Aishwarya and Amitabh Bachchan if you are going to India, right? So again, base URL is msn.com, right? And then they are having appended, right? So we can do this configuration in application gateway, okay? That is path based routing, okay? Then global regional. So load balancer is also global, application gateway is regional, traffic manager and front door is global only, application gateway is regional. So you cannot uh, balance traffic for from two different region if you're using application gateway, okay? So again, you can go through this. Please search and make a note of this difference between all four. Front load we have added now. We'll go through we'll go through load balancer, application gateway, and traffic manager at least create and see how this all works. Okay, for the practical part. Uh, where is it first? Right. Please do this task by yourself. Okay, and be prepared for this question. Okay. And if you're getting these kind of questions, then it will be, if you're prepared, it will be good for you, right? You can talk lots if you're getting, okay, what is the difference between this load balancer and all, right? So if I'm again going to same page, not this one, let's close this page. Right. If I'm mentioning the layer, which layer it works, right? If I'm mentioning the routing method, right? And if I'm mentioning it is global or regional, if I'm mentioning this HTTP based or HTTP non-HTTP, if I'm seeing endpoints, you can see endpoint, or you can say the backend, what all backend is supported, right? In load balancer, it support virtual machine scale address, like a skill set and IP address, right? Then in case of application gateway, it support IP address, FQDN. FQDN is like fully qualified domain name, right? MSN.com or virtual machine or app services, correct? And then cloud service, app service, slot, public IP address. This is supported in traffic manager, right? And then front door supports so many things: app service, cloud service, storage application gateway, API management, public IP, traffic manager, and custom hosts, right? Endpoint monitoring, that is health probes, right? So health probe is there. In traffic manager, you have HTTP and HTTP base get request, right? So basically traffic manager will try to send some HTTP or HTTPS request to the backend, and it will decide based on that your backend is healthy or not, correct? Redundancy, sticky session, VNet peering. Sticky session is session affinity, correct? Pricing. So if they ask, you can explain easily around 10 minutes, right? Load balancer thing. If not 10 minutes, at least 5 minutes. Try to explain each and every term easily and take your time. Okay, let's close this. Okay, wanted to see something else also. CISA corner. You can see even application gateway has web application firewall, right? Image based routing, all those things can be done. And yep, go through different options, right? Internal load balancer we have seen, public load balancer you can see, right? So they have created three, we have created two. Okay, we have 12 minutes. Let's discuss little bit about Packer. Okay, so if you all have no questions, then maybe we can discuss 5 minutes for Packer. Anyone has any question?
Yes, because I have.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
I asked a question from the last one day before.
Mhm.
That what is how we apply the NSG over the network interface of the virtual machine. You said
Okay,
me. Okay,
Nick of virtual machine. Mm, okay, that is like which will override. No, not that question. We have discussed apply MSC to. Uh, let me send you a link. Okay, how you can do that. MSC to not virtual network. virtual machine. Right. Have you tried what all thing you have tried? Do you have a virtual machine running?
Yes, Vikas.
Okay. Do you see inside networking there will be something called nick, and it will be appended with some ID, right? I'm not getting the document, but yes. Remind me when I'm creating a virtual machine or any virtual machine is running, right? I will show you how to add that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Please remind me when there is virtual machine running. I don't think.
Inside virtual
Mm.
machine.
Yes, Pawan, go ahead.
Yeah, inside virtual machine, if you select a virtual machine, we have a networking option, right?
Yes, yes. From there,
Here we can go and assign the NIC card if you need to add one more NIC card to that's
no, he don't want to add nick card. He wanted to add a NSG at the nick card. So you can open the nick. You can click on nick card, and you will get those options. So
yes, yes, correct.
yeah, once you select the nick, you'll get that option. Okay. Okay. Anyone else has any other question? Next time, remind me when there is a virtual machine running in our portal. We'll do that. This is just 2 minute work, not more. Okay. And let me go back to the. I can see so many people. We don't have any question. That is good. Either I'm not explaining good or it's like no one is listening. Anything can be. Okay. Let's go to Packer. Okay. Nowadays, most of the company they will ask for the image building. Okay. What is Packer? But yeah. Okay. You can see there are some blocks, right? In Terraform, we know blocks, right? You can see the source block, right? Source block here we define what type of operating system we want. Okay. So complete block is this, right? This is your kind of provider, correct? In Terraform, we have seen that. Let me do a little bit zoom, correct? Then we have one block called source block where we define which operating system we want. Okay, you can see the image Ubuntu uh, Xenial, right? Commit is equal to true. Then we have something called build. Okay, so basically Packer, what it will do, you give the image, okay, and then you give the build. In build part, what we are doing, you can see we are just trying to add Docker to Ubuntu, right? So we'll get a Ubuntu machine, okay, and in that Ubuntu machine, Docker will be installed, okay. Like this, we can add multiple source, okay. It's not just you can install Docker, you can install multiple things on that image, okay. And what Packer will do, it will create an image for you, okay, and then that image you can use and create a new virtual machine. So whenever you are creating that image, so again I think I should use a whiteboard. Just talking will not help, right? So how I can add one more. Yeah, let's add this. Okay, so yeah, if you go to documentation again, what you see, uh, so this, you can see this, right? This is provider, nothing to do. Then you have source, right? So source is like image which you wanted to install. So we all are familiar with Windows, right? So let's say I have given image here, Windows, Windows 2019 server. Okay. So first thing in source, I will give which image I want, right? And then I want to customize this image, right? So let's say duplicate this. So customization is like in I wanted to add Docker to this Windows 2019, right? Or let's say I wanted to add npm also, NuGet package manager. I want to add chocolatey. Chocolatey is also package manager, right? I wanted to use Terraform, so I will install Terraform. Any software which you wanted to install, right? So you can do that. So that will be your what build block. Okay. So in build block, we will decide what all software I wanted to add, and then based on these two image and this, what we will get? We will get an image. Okay. So third output will be image. Okay. So what Packer will do? Okay. Basically, okay, based on your input. Okay. Oh, bad. Okay, delete. So we have given the input. Okay. What Packer will do? Packer will create a virtual machine. Okay. It will create a virtual machine and with Windows server, and then install all this software which you have defined in build part, and then create an image based on this VM. Okay. So now this VM has all the required software. So Packer will create an image based on your virtual machine. Okay. Then this image you can use to create a
Because
virtual machine.
why do we need to use the packer? Else we have the option in the portal to create the image of the virtual machine.
Both the way you can go is like Packer is where you can
Otherwise,
do
are
it.
you getting me?
Yes, I am able to hear you. Hope I guess you are not able to hear me. There is some background noise from your side. Okay. So it's the same thing. Why you are using portal and why you are using CLI, right? Same thing we are doing here. We can do using portal also. You can go, you can install, create server, then install this all software manually one by one, then create an image. That is time taking. That may take around 30 minutes, but with Packer it will take just 10 minutes, right? That's why you are using Packer. Okay. So then this image you can save it in your library, and you can use this library image to create a new virtual machine. Okay. Hope Packer is clear. What we are doing at least.
No,
It's like
because
we,
have been joined at the time of explaining the packer. I disconnected the connection.
Mm, no problem. You have
Uh, uh,
understood this picture, right?
yes.
You have understand. Then you asked, okay, why we are doing with Packer, right? The explanation was like, if you do it with Portal, like it's the same thing. Like multiple thing we can, like everything we can do with Portal, right? Then why we are using CLI and Terraform for the automation purpose and less time taking, right? Same thing here also. Packer can automate your things, okay? And it will be like less time taking. Okay, if you are going via portal, you have to create server, you have to create all this one by one, and then create image, right? But Packer will do it automatically. Okay, it will install all this software, it will create an image for you. It's easy, right? Just write 10 line of code and just sit and relax. You will get your image. Or you wanted to go ahead with portal and create all these things by yourself. There may be human error also, right? Let's you wanted to select 2019, but in a hurry you have selected 2016. Then you have to create again, correct? So that's all. Okay, someone was asking anything. I guess it was Pavan.
It's like cloning, right? Some companies like creating golden images, like instead of installing all applications, we are going to create these, or it's a code based packer.
It's like we are creating a golden image. So it's not like just we are it's code based. It's like we image will be created and you can store it in your Microsoft Azure also.
Okay, marketplace, correct.
Marketplace, yeah, you can store there also in your
And
subscription. Mhm. Go ahead.
that's it.
Okay. Anyone else has any other question related to Packer? At least you can answer these things, right? You can create image with Packer. They will not ask you that, okay, create an image. And it's like documentation is really good. And it's like if we keep going on DevOps, Azure, Terraform, and Packer, there is no end. Class will continue for 2 years also. So like, yeah, we have to bound somewhere where like, okay, these things are important. I'm trying to give you some heads up, and even I'm trying to explain okay how it goes, where if you come across these things in later time you can create these all. Okay. Okay. It's 25. Let's go to one by one. There are some people who will not talk if you're not asking them. Akshadhar, you have anything? Okay. Tony, you have anything to discuss?
No, Vikas.
Okay, mention Packer today in your resume, everyone. At least you understand how to do it, right? What it is used for. At least just make 10 line of it. Okay, you can say Packer has source block, then build block, right? In source block we will define what image we are using. In build block we will define what all software we are going to install, right? Or let me give you that link also here if I have it, still it is open, right? Please go through this and just make a note of 2 3 line. Today I have said 1 2 3 4 link. Okay. Okay, Pradeep, you joined late again. Okay, maybe Pradeep and Akshay in office. Vivek, you have anything? Prasanna, you got anything?
No,
Yeah, you understood, right? Load balancer and these things, maybe it will be required later on, but right now you understood, right? VM skill set, load
yeah, but
balancing,
Terraform I need to look.
Terraform. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So just try to understand how it works. We'll do practical tomorrow for virtual machine, load balancer, sorry, not virtual machine, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Ajit, you have any other question?
No, Vikas.
Yeah, please schedule.
Packer and the template both are the both are the Packer and Terraform both are the template.
Packer,
Sorry,
not getting you what you are asking.
uh, Packer and the Terraform both are the template.
Uh,